the pandemic, while I was a senior, I had to adapt to learning online. It was a challenge prior to me being in high school, so I thought I just doubted myself before we even got online. But I got more comfortable to it, and I've done better online actually than I have hands-on learning that I have now learned, thank God. Learning how to do math, that was hard. I couldn't have the teachers physically come up to me and teach me, oh, well, you have to do this, this, and that. I couldn't grasp that at first, but as the time has gone on, I've learned to communicate with my teacher, not just on Zoom, but behind the scenes. But yeah, math was probably the hardest part. Well, through this pandemic, I've learned that I did want to be a nurse because my first occupation was not to be a nurse. It was to become a forensic photographer. So through this pandemic, I've learned that there was a shortage of nurses, so I've wanted to become one. Socially, it was hard. I can say me not being around certain friends, it was hard because I missed being at school, having lunch with my peers. It affected me that socially. Physically, it was hard as well because I couldn't leave the house since we was on quarantine, and I am more of an outside person. Spiritually, it did affect me then because I couldn't go physically to church. I am a Christian. Also mentally, it affected me mentally because I realized I could not go outside at all. So I had to learn how to stay in the house, and even if I did leave the house, I had to mask up. I had to always remember that. Usually I did forget because wearing masks everywhere you go 24/7 has now become a requirement in society. So, yeah. The one advice I could give for seniors during this pandemic, or just students in general, even though it's hard being in this pandemic, just keep pushing. It gets easier, promise you.